All right, Ryan, we want to get started on your first video here. A couple of things to note in this first swing that I think are maybe predominant in your swing, and that's the weight transfer on stride. So in this case, you have a really good setup, no problems. As you make your move um, to the front side, right here, you have a very small step, and then that back knee starts to come in as the back heel comes up. Right. Here's where we get into some of the issues. And hold on just a minute. I'm gonna modify this so you can see it a little better. Hold on just a second. There we go. All right. So I wanted you to pay attention to your hands, because your hands in this position are taking a little bit of a downward path. So they're coming down a little bit like this, which is, and you can watch here as I move in the frame, you can see that they're starting to drop. Your lower body gets out in front, but your knee is coming toward the other batter's box. This this back heel needs to get up a little more, all right, and needs to get turned. Maybe your toe at stance could be a little more turned inward to help you get that heel off the ground. So as we continue to move here, it's because your hips haven't opened fully, it's left your hands kind of up past your lower body. We'd like to see a little more separation between your hands and your knee. We'd like your hands to stay back closer to where this circle is, as opposed to being up here so far up where it's almost leading your lower body to the ball instead of your hips leading your hands. It's kind of the opposite. So you get flattened out here, but at that time, by the time you flatten out, your bat is kind of already coming off your shoulder because your hips haven't opened enough. So that causes your power V to be down and your swing to cast in a downward fashion. So if I were to clear this off and put a pitch plane on here, let's say about like this, right? You could get an idea of what your swing would look like as you go down to this ball. Your bat actually travels under the pitch plane. You can see what that looks like, right? And because of that late movement with the hips, it leaves you with a kind of a weak front leg. You're not really firmed up on the front leg. All right. So that's a couple of things we're noticing, and we're going to see how you change that. This is your first swing, how that's changed in your follow-on swings. So if I split this box and we go over here and we put your second swing in, or your later swings after you've gone through some of the training. Let me move you over a little bit so we can see a little better. There we go. All right, and I run that swing all the way back. Okay, put you back here, get you in your stance, move this one back. Okay, so interestingly enough, you've got a little more weight centric back on the back side. You've loaded up your weight a little more on the back leg in this second video. But let's see what it looks like when it comes forward. So you get to that heel plant where your toes there, and I want you to notice that your weight actually doesn't come forward into the one position. It's more so here is where you're centered up, okay, on your weight, right? And if I bring this forward, you really just kind of stem the leg out there and stick it out without really making any move to drive your weight up onto the front side into that one position like we did with the hitter's power drive, right? So you're not really moving any weight forward. You're just kind of stemming your leg out there and putting your heel down. And what happens is, let me put the center line back on here, you're going to come forward a little bit. You're going to come forward a little bit because you're going to pick this back heel up. But really not very much. Heel's coming up. Now you're starting to come in. Now, One thing that I do like about this, as opposed to the first swing, is you kept your hands back. So now your hands are back here and your knee is up here. So you are in a better, a more powerful position to hit the ball. Your knee is definitely headed toward the pitcher, but you've already committed your weight and your front side to whatever pitch is coming. So you want to have a little more. You'd rather have that weight a little more up on this front leg, so the front leg could look a little more like this, a little more bent, and weight forward, so that you can make adjustments to multiple pitches in the zone. All right. Now, in this case, though, you've loaded up your hands very well, and your hands get very flat. They don't move down at all, and they get out to the power V, which is out here, and you end up in a pretty considerable position to the back here. I'm going to put you got your hips out of the way though very well on that one. So I'm going to move over here and put another swing you did up over on this side, and I want you to see that same move with the ball coming. Notice how your weight's on the back side, and here's my weight back here, and I'm not gonna move my weight forward like this. I'm just gonna drive my knee forward. Is what you're gonna do here. So we're gonna bring this up, and now you have a different pitch to deal with. Okay, and the pitch is down a little bit more down in the zone. You're getting your hands inside of it. All right, and you end up in this position. You hit that ball the other way because your hips didn't get out of the way. So you really are kind of locking yourself up by not allowing a little more flexibility on the front leg, a little more weight forward. It'd be good if you could get your weight moved forward maybe 6 to 8 inches up on that front side. And I'll show you what that looks like in this next round of videos. I'm going to take this video right here, and I'm going to put it over here. All right, I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to kind of show you what that weight forward position should look like. I'm going to put Alex Rodriguez up here. Now, in this case, when we compare and contrast to A-Rod, I want you to see this move that he makes. So here's A-Rod in his stance, okay? He kind of loads up on the back leg, and I want you to see how he comes forward. So here's his position. Let me just put a line on him here. He's in a cocked position. His weight's in the back cocked position. Hands are back, right? I want you to see the movement forward to the front leg, and see how he keeps coming forward until heel plant. Once the heel is planted, look at the flex in this leg right here. I want you to look at this. I want you to see that he has some flexibility in this front leg. His weight is actually centered now up here, right? So he's moved 6 to 8 inches forward and allowed his backside or his back heel to come up and relax, and his back heel to come up, his knee to drive to the pitcher, all right? As opposed to here, where you are in your position to hit, your final position here. And I want you to see how far you come forward. I'm just going to run it forward here. So you come back. Could we argue here that we don't really have any forward, right? We don't really go to the ball. We just kind of, in your position, you just kind of stuck the leg out there. Now, again, A-Rod has the ability to hit pitches up in the zone, down in the zone, inside and outside, because he allows some flex in his front leg. Very, very important to allow yourself that movement. I think during the course we described it as an automobile driving forward at 100 miles an hour, and one person's strapped in and one person isn't with their seatbelt. You need to have that forward motion and then that sudden stop at heel plant, so that you can make so that you can create the torque and power you want, but at the same time not be committed to one type of pitch. You have the flexibility of starting low or up in the zone wherever the pitch might be by having that flexibility in your front leg. So you need to get moving a little more forward, all right? And I would say you can continue to work on that by thinking about the hitter's power drive and how the hitter's power drive, you have to move forward and click it. You have to actually transfer your weight up to the front leg and then click that power drive. So think about that motion forward as you're keeping your hands back, because you kept your hands back very, very well in this photo, or in this video, excuse me. Your hands stayed back really, really well, right? You really kept your hand back and your knee drove forward. So if you could just simply do that by getting a weight a little to, say, here, all right, get your weight centered up and get more vertical. So get yourself, by here you're kind of stacked about like this. And it'd be better if we could stack you a little more vertically, like that, okay? So move that weight forward a little bit, okay? It won't take away from your power, it'll actually increase, it'll give you more options to hit more balls in the zone. All right, you won't be committed to one particular position and swing and then get fooled by an off-speed pitch or breaking ball and then not have the ability to move on it, all right, with power. All right, so other than that, great job, good improvements. Just keep working on the one position, and you know, if you have any questions, send me an email, or if you want us to look at more video, whatever it may be, just write us at info@thehittingconnection.com. You're obviously welcome to look through the other videos of the players on our YouTube site, and you can get there by going to www.thehittingconnection.com. Great job, and good luck in your upcoming season.